Hi, Dave.
Hi, thank you for taking the time, Julia. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave, for joining us today. I've heard you're launching a book. Could you please tell us
Yes.
a little bit more about that?
Well, Victoria Richardson and I are launching our new book here tomorrow morning, which I'm very excited about. The book's called Money in the Metaverse, and it's about the next phase of evolution of money and payments and financial services. And the origin of it, which was in the Metaverse, hence the title, is quite simple. I was asked to go to a book launch in the Metaverse, and that was really a lot of fun. You know, we were all mixing together in the virtual world and talking, enjoying the book launch. But to buy the book, you had to come out of the Metaverse and scan a QR code and then go to a website and then pay with cards. And I just thought, this can't be right. The Metaverse experience was so interesting. The fact that you could interact with people. I mean, in fact, I was surprised how natural it becomes quite quickly. And that all worked perfectly, but the money didn't work perfectly. And so I started to talk to a few people, do some reading, and people kind of pushed me in the direction of the whole kind of Web3, tokens, decentralized assets, because those are a way of exchanging value without clearing and settlement. They're direct value exchanges. And I started to think, I think this is right. I think actually the way money will work in the Metaverse is going to be based more on those new technologies, less on the old technologies. And then, of course, the more I started to think about how would that work, the more I realized that digital wallets were going to be at the heart of this. And I mean, if you look at all the reports coming out from different people around the world right now, it's very clear that digital wallets are the ascendant, they're the growth area. But the fact is they'll also be the pivot between, if you like, the universe and the metaverse. And I'm not an absolute, I know a fair bit about wallets, but I was talking to Victoria Richardson, who's an old friend of mine. She's COO at Miko, so I knew she knew about next generation wallets. And once I started talking to her, I realized I couldn't write the book by myself. And so we did it together. And I've got to say, it's come out pretty well. So we're going to launch it tomorrow and see what people think. Because if we're right, and I think we are, that means forget about cryptocurrency. Put cryptocurrency to one side. Digital assets, decentralized finance, stable coins, digital currencies, these look like the next generation, the next evolution. And I want to learn more about all of that. And a good way to learn is to write about it and structure your thoughts and then listen to what people say.
Excellent. No, that's fantastic, and I look forward to the book launch tomorrow as well. And I think, I agree with you. Users and consumers are definitely looking for a seamless experience to pay for basic goods, for books, for anything that we consume today. And user experience, I think, is a critical component today, right? User experience.
Well, but the thing is, the next generation of consumers, like we think of kids.
How do we budget? How do we pay?
Right, but we think of kids as being in TikTok. Or,
TikTok shop.
Yeah.
Easy and seamless.
The TikTok jump off a tall building challenge, whatever it is they're doing this week, or YouTube. But actually, if you look at the next generation down, if you look at the attention hours per month, the dominant places are already the proto-metaverses.
Yes.
It's Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite. That generation of consumers, they're used to interacting virtually. And so when all of a sudden Apple come along and the new Facebook goggles, to them that seems quite natural. Yes. Because that's how they interact with their friends. And so bringing money into that space, commerce, financial services, it's not a big deal. It's natural for them.
Of course. And do you think there is a place for all new forms of money, for central bank digital currency, for tokenized deposits, for regulated stablecoin? Do you think there is a place for all those forms of money?
Absolutely, and it's not ideological. I think that's the important point to make. So the reason why Larry Fink from BlackRock is interested in tokenization, JP Morgan are launching tokenized. The reason why these people are interested in tokenization is not ideology. It's about money. It's because when it comes to decentralized finance and the exchange of tokens, there is no clearing and settlement. The money is the message, so to speak. So they don't want to do it because it's trendy. They want to do it because it takes away a substantial proportion of the costs. There is no reconciliation, back office, error accounts. That goes.
Yes.
If I send you the token and you send me a digital dollar, that's the end of the transaction. So yes, they are, but it's not ideological. It's about money.
Totally, I agree with you. I think there are a lot of issues within the kind of existing payments and some of the frictions that could be removed, like reconciliation. You don't have the issues of reconciliation, this new kind of new ecosystem in the new world, right? And what is your view on the technology that some of these assets are being built on? Is the blockchain the future to power?
Well,
some of these,
I'm a little so tokens need some form of distributed ledger technology because you don't want a centralized system they have to go through. Whether that decentralized ledger technology needs to be a blockchain or not, I think that's a little less clear. A blockchain is a very specific problem which is the problem of double spending.
Of course.
It's a very specific solution to a very specific problem. And it's not obvious to me that's a problem that the institutions will have in this new environment. So maybe blockchains will turn out to be the best way of doing it, but I have to say that part's not obvious to me at the moment.
I think what we have seen within FIS and some of the clients we are working with, we are seeing a lot of kind of blockchain adoption across the financial institutions and large corporates. So I think for us it's no brainer that the blockchain will probably take off for some of these digital forms of money.
Well, on the wholesale side, where you already see people like Finality in place. So on the wholesale side, yes, but at the retail level, I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And what do you think are the kind of critical use cases that we're trying to solve in the kind of retail domain? What are those use cases that you think we should tackle first?
The absolute dominant use case is fraud. I mean, the fraud is completely out of control, certainly in the UK and most other places as well. And a lot of those frauds boil down to the same thing, which is the internet never had an identity. I mean, you hear this all the time. The internet was built without an identity layer. And that was great, and it gave it flexibility, but it's led to no end of trouble. I mean, really, all the time. But the metaverse isn't going to be built without an identity layer. Like those Apple glasses that have the retinal scan thing in it. It's just starting in a different place. And if it's a way of really tackling fraud and online harm and misbehavior of all kinds, then the cost of doing business there will be lower, in which case transactions will begin to migrate into that space. If you're buying a house in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, the idea that you'll do it over the internet, I'm not so sure. Would you put on some glasses to do it? Actually, that's not so crazy, because you'll have them at home anyway, because you use them for playing games.
Or something else.
Well, I read somewhere one of the Facebook glasses things. The best-selling app for that is over 50s fitness.
Oh wow!
No, because people want to do push-ups and things together.
Yes.
But of course, if we were doing exercises together at 7 o'clock in the morning, you really want to see an avatar. You don't really want to see me. So the point is, people have those things anyway. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine if you have to do an important transaction, you put them on, it registers it's you. You can see that the person at the other end has got the relevant credentials because of digital identity and all that sort of thing. It's not so crazy, really.
Excellent. And you actually wrote a lot on identity on your LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
For you, of course, identity, I guess, is a critical component in this new payment ecosystem.
It's a fundamental building block. And actually, I'm not the only person who says this. Lots of people say this. But it's a little bit disappointing, actually. Like, we haven't made that much progress in it. You every day in the newspaper you'll read about new frauds and scams because nobody knows who anybody is on the internet. And we have to tackle that head on. And maybe the metaverse is instead of trying to keep putting band-aids on things on the internet, maybe moving those transactions into the metaverse is the way to fix the problem.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your
welcome.
time today, and I look forward to the book launch tomorrow.
Great stuff. Thank you very much,
Thanks so much.
Julia.
Thank you.